another review. You had a review of Dune. That's
Yeah.
right, Dune. Dune, that old
Dune.
classic movie. And I take it this is the 2021 Dune, right? Not the
Yeah, the
1984 Dune.
yeah, not the David Lynch Dune, but we are talking about equally as crazy of a world Dune. This was an interesting film. I've got to say, I like the film. I think I will love the film the second time I watch it. It's one of those things, Rob, where it's basically just for anybody that doesn't know, Dune is a sort of post-apocalyptic world that surrounds himself around a young boy named Paul Atreides. He's like this like gifted young boy who's like to this house who has their own planet, and they go to this planet. They go to this other planet on the request of the emperor to basically salvage something called spice on this planet that makes them. It's like their way of living. That it's how they use
Can
space
I
travel,
uh can I interrupt you there
intellectual.
just
Yeah,
for a second? Have you ever noticed in video games and movies all the drugs in the universe is called spice?
it's called spice.
Why is it all called spice? I just don't know if anyone's ever noticed that.
That's very true. Like every other thing that they use, it's that has magic. It's spice, and it's spice in this movie too. It's not called anything else. Just spice, right? And it's only found on this one like apocalyptic world where they have like these giant sandworms that kill people and everything. And so he goes there, and the movie, is pretty good. It's Timothy Clement. I'm pronouncing his name wrong. He's been in a bunch of other films, I think, that we've seen. Rob. He's been in like Little Women. He was the King in the King Netflix movie, Call Me by Your Name. He's been in some pretty credible things. His acting in this film was really good. When he's playing off of his father, Oscar Isaac, who is Leto Atreus the first. The problem with this film, though, Rob, is I feel like it should have been an HBO movie instead of
Really?
an HBO show. Yeah, because it's basically Game of Thrones in space. Like you
Hmm.
have all of the politics, you have all of these people getting killed, um, and there is just this whole big world, dude, that is being such like Dennis Ventura, he obviously this man knows how to create worlds. He basically sculpts it out like none other. He did the sequel to Blade Runner. I think he did Interstellar. He knows how to frame shot. He knows how to do things that are great. Like the CGI looks great. Like the sandworm, for instance, it's
Hmm.
gigantic. You know what I mean? It's like 50 feet tall type things. Like you feel like it's
Huge
air.
crustacean from the Paleozoic era.
Yeah, right, right. But again, Rob, I think that this film, because it's part one, by the way, this is
Oh,
Dune part one, I should say. So we're getting a part two, and you need to. There's like at least three books. The lore is incredible. It's incredible. It's juicy enough to bite your teeth, but you can feel the rush. It's like, oh, here's this planet with the bad guys. You're just now getting into it. Now we have to switch back to the kid, and what's wrong with him? He's got superpowers. He now knows something's going to happen to the future. There's
typical.
sort of a Jedi type thing, so you could see where George Lucas was just like, he looked at Dune, was just like, Jedi's got my movie, because it's basically right from here. It's an interesting take. I gotta say, just go and watch it. It's a very hard film to basically review because it's all lore exposition and building, world building, and character development. And there are things that happen. Not too many action scenes, but when there are action scenes, they hit it. And for me, if I have to give a final review for Dune, I'm going to give it probably an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's definitely a watch. It's definitely good. It might even go up the next time I watch it. It's just the first time I was
Interesting.
watching it, taking it all in.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Wow. So Dune, 8.5 on Real Sharks. All right. I got another review for you. Are you a fan of um, Kevin? Just give me a moment here. Sorry, Kevin Durant.
The basketball player.
No, that's Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. He's the Durant. He's the actor from Vikings. He played Harvard in the Vikings. He played in Real Steel. He was the cowboy. You know.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
he's been in Smoking Aces. He was one of the the brothers that were all psycho and
Right.
crazy. He's been in quite a
Right.
few different films. Quite the track record actually. Give me just a moment here. Quite the track record though for him. Uh, I actually have to say he's a very chameleon actor because for those of you who probably specifically want to see a film with him in, he played a Mexican in The Butterfly Effect. That's right, the Mexican um, that um, oh God, what is the kid's name? What was his name back then? Ashton Kutcher is talking to in that
Yeah.
cell. That's not a Mexican. That's actually Kevin Durant as a Mexican. So
Wow.
that guy. Anyway, he is actually in his own film. 2014, it is old, but I actually found this film during Halloween, and I wanted to do a review of it, but
Mm.
I didn't really get a chance to. It's called Dark Was the Night. You can actually find this movie on Tubi. Um, I have to say, this is a cheap film, Steve. Gets a 5.6 on IMDb, which is not good.
Yeah.
52% Rotten Tomatoes, not good. But overall, this is why I think people didn't like it. I actually thought it was decent. Not a gem, just decent. The reason I say that is because it was a creature feature of
Mhm.
not showing the creature. But
Yeah.
the acting was good. The premise of the film itself, I thought, was very on task. But what was killing the film as it continuously went on was the fact of the showing of the creature, because you can tell this is such a low budget film that you're just like, oh God, the special effects are cheap.
Yeah.
It's just like claw here, death here, maybe a quick move here, but it's like, oh, don't show him out in the open. Oh, God. It's kind of like when we watch Sweetheart. It's like that creature was so freaky at first, and then you got him in the light, and you're like, oh, it's the thing from the faculty.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually did watch this film a while back, like early in the month of October, getting ready for some horror films. And yeah, I think you're right, Rob. I didn't hate this film. I thought it was fine. But it is one of those like cheesy C level movies where he's fine in the film. Kevin Durant he's good.
Yeah, is it?
He's a great actor. Carries the film. He is the film pretty much, and everybody else
Right.
in it is kind of just kind of there.
Coach there.
That just no disrespect to those actors and actresses, but I mean, like, it speaks for itself. But the monster effect, that you're right on with that. I was like, whoa! At first, I was like, okay, hopefully this is pretty cool, right? Um, and then after a while, I don't know, dude. It just kind of the one thing that was kind of cool was when that dude was transforming and his eyes and like his face was like, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
So
But
the whole
that
premise of this
was
film
it.
is basically a small town, of course, small town sheriff and his deputy, Lucas Haas, actually, who you remember that young guy? He's the guy from Mars Attacks. He
Yeah,
the young guy who was the dude in the donut shop. He's been in a few different films,
yeah,
but yeah, he hasn't aged a bit. But anyway, this is a film about a logging company basically awaking something unexplained in the town, and it's hunting the town down by one by one. Oh my God, what can they do? They barely have weapons from this creature, and it's wintertime. What are they gonna do? But yeah, I think what kind of kills this movie though is probably the end. I think the end was kind of a stupid ending because you get once spoilers, they get rid of one creature to find out that hey, it's actually a hive of them, or drove or group or train, whatever, of
right.
these
Yeah, the cheap thing where
things.
there's more.
There's a lot more. Yeah, you got the whole cold skin thing, but not without the Aqualad. So without the Aqualad,
Right.
so without that, but yeah. You got anything else tonight, Steve? That was really all I have, dude. Because I'll tell you what I've been working on, man. I've been working on so much shit, dude. Like a lot of shit.
Working on, bro.